Hi everyone, Dr. K, naturopathic doctor. Today talking about nutrition for when you're just recovering from an illness. So you're not fully back to 100%, but you're also not like bedridden how you were before. And so this applies for colds, flus, stomach flu, just feeling run down. These are all like safe bets and advice to use for this. And so when that happens, a lot of times you lose your appetite in the first place, so you're not even hungry, which is fine because your body just needs to rest, it needs to recover. Sleep is amazing, get your fluids up. That's great. I think a lot of people are on board with that and do that. But then once they start to feel better, they just jump right back into eating how they normally would. And so this can be pretty stressful on the gut, especially if you've had a gut issue. But even if you haven't, it's just one of those things where a lot of your immune system is in your gut. And so it's still recovering. It's still, needing a bit of time to bounce back. And so it's very challenging when you go back to eating kind of complex foods all over again. So what I would say the easiest thing to do is to start with fruit and vegetables, and if you can tolerate proteins, great. But cooked vegetables, it would be a good idea, and then fruit that are like berries that are fairly easy to digest, not necessarily. You don't have to jump right into anything crazy, but things that have higher water content, like any of the melons, apples, berries, as I say, typically tend to go a bit better. And then in terms of vegetables, sweet potato is a good option. And just as I say, cooked is better so that it's a bit easier on the system. And then any proteins that you're able to tolerate. Now, if the idea of all that still sounds super unappealing and you're not quite ready to even get there, then I would say another option is rice. So just basically cooked white rice and start there and try to work your way up. The idea is to keep the food as basic as possible so that there are no chemicals or dyes or any sort of extras that your liver and your body have to deal with. So have whole foods and the least complex possible. And so, for example, how would that look is like maybe you have some chicken, some sweet potato, and you have a handful of berries, and that's kind of like what you go for that day. And then as you feel better, sure, go ahead and add in the more complex things, or if you've really been missing your breakfast cereal, for example, then you can kind of put those things back in. But you really do want to give yourself a chance to build that immunity back up and feel back to 100% before introducing any kind of additional chemical load that your body may not be prepared for. All right, guys, hope that helps, and we'll catch you next time.